Do you ever wonder what the graphical glitch on the right side of Super Mario Bros. 3 is? It has to do with a key difference between Mario 3 and its earlier installments. If you think about it, it is kind of weird that neither the original Mario nor the second installment have this glitch, so why would the third game, seemingly an upgrade, have something like this? First off, Mario 3 is certainly an upgrade overall, making use of an expansion chip, something I talked about recently, called an MMC3. Something you may notice about the original Super Mario Bros. Is that the levels are only horizontal, with no vertical gameplay. The US release of Mario Bros. 2 does in fact have vertical gameplay, but you may notice that the screen only ever scrolls vertically or horizontally, never both at the same time. Mario 3 on the other hand is capable of doing both and scrolling diagonally. The strategy needed to do this is what creates that graphical glitch. To understand this, you'll need to know that the NES generally uses two tables of data to represent the current graphics on screen, a name table and an attribute table. The name table is essentially a grid that represents the makeup of the tiles on screen. Tiles are 8x8 pixels, and the name table keeps track of what tile goes in each place. The attribute table is similar, but instead of representing what tiles go in each place, it represents the color palette of each tile. However, what is important to understand is that there are two sets of name tables and attribute tables. The second set essentially makes up what is just off screen, allowing the camera to scroll to the right with the player and reveal what is next. As it does so, the tiles we leave behind the camera are overwritten with tiles further ahead. Then the camera snaps back to the beginning of the first name table. This works the same way vertically, but when we're scrolling on both axes at the same time, things get pretty tricky because there is nowhere to smoothly and discreetly load in the next set of tiles off screen. Finally, there is something called name table mirroring, in which both sets of name tables and attribute tables are copied. This is an important part of keeping a seamless transition when scrolling. There is vertical mirroring for games that scroll horizontally and horizontal mirroring for games that scroll vertically. But Mario 3 does both at once, so which one does it use? This is where the fundamental issue comes in. Mario 3 uses horizontal mirroring, meaning it can seamlessly scroll up and down, but not left to right. Tiles are loaded directly on the right, allowing the player to see artifacts in which the wrong tiles are displayed, and they're in the wrong palette, often being green. There are ways to cover this up anyway, but obviously Nintendo decided that this was acceptable.